So welcome back to the Let's Get Social show. It's part 2 with the wonderful Ella Orr. We're talking more again about personal branding. And today we're going to try and dive into how you can create content on social to support your personal brand, and how can you measure the success of your personal brand content efforts on social, and so much more. So stay tuned.
Yeah. So with that thought in mind, Mr. T and Ella, today is, you're not going to believe this, World Dracula Day. Yeah, something to get your teeth into. Yeah. Where do you go with that with a personal brand? That's what I'm going to
Well, I'll tell you where you go with it. I took Ella's advice and I did up my notes on a piece of paper, and the digital giggle was one huge part of my brand that you tried to take away, Emer. So Ella, thank you for inspiring me to bring it back.
Something to sink our teeth into.
Something to sink our teeth into. And you're going to like this based on our conversation.
Are we voting on this? Are we voting on this?
Yeah, me and Ella have our hands up. Isn't that right, Ella? Well done.
Yeah.
You're such a teacher's pet, Philip. You know,
absolutely. Apple in the post for Ella. Well, in honor of the day that it is, I do have a joke for yourself, Emer, and for you, do. Ella.
Yeah,
here you go. So, why did Dracula become a vegetarian?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna put a steak in this one, am I?
It's very close. Oh. He heard steak was bad for his heart.
Waff, waff, waff.
I'll give you that one.
Thanks very much.
Although you do drain me out sometimes, really.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Anyway,
thanks for that.
Well, there you go, Ella. Well, anyway, for Ella and
I think we could have made a grave mistake letting him hop out back.
Yeah, that's deadly.
I know.
Anyway, it's just gone to bad to work. Listen, we need to move on from this horror show.
Stop digging your grave there, Philip.
Yeah. But listen, welcome back to Ella Orr. Ella is a social media marketing, personal branding consultant. Mm-hmm. She works in the finance and law and regulated industries. Ella's also a former teacher, which has, I suppose, why she is so great at what she does, because she's brought all those skills. And she's also that someone loves to go to her local gym and pump the iron. So not only is she pumping brands to success on social, she's getting the guns. She's got the 21-inch biceps.
Gonna shoot you.
I tell you, you don't want to be in a headlock with Ella. So, welcome back to the Let's Get Social house, Ella Orr.
Yeah.
Oh God, that has got to be the best introduction I've ever had on a podcast.
We like to make it novel here. Yeah, we do. So
is that what you call it? Okay, fair enough. So anyway, before we get stuck in and we don't get into, I don't want to get any further with the puns, so let's move it on quickly. Because we're getting nothing done today. So if you didn't catch Ella in part 1, go check her out on Podbeam, iTunes, Spotify, and the Dublin South FM website. I'm speeding things along here today, Mr. T. And you can hear her there. Then you can hop on over and look at us on YouTube, where you can catch her and all of Philip's other terrible jokes. Do check them out there. She's got such expertise. You will be able to see her and hear her. And the other thing about it is do go and subscribe, ring that bell. And then if you have done all that, why not just send us an old email at inquiries@dublinsouthfm.ie and give us a few topics that maybe we can steer Philip away from all these wonderful digital giggles. I'm deadpan now. See, I'm deadpan?
Yeah.
Sorry. There you go. Crack on, Mr. T.
Okay, Ella, listen, welcome back to Let's Get Social. I suppose we're continuing on about personal branding and efforts of promoting your personal brand on social media. Based on what you've seen with your clients and even your own personal success, how can you actually start to measure your success of your personal branding efforts on social? Is it through more engagement, follower growth? Combination of everything.
Yeah,
Messages.
it is a combination of everything. It is, and I think, I mean, I've noticed that the lovely thing that I have noticed is that people start to recommend me when they say I'm looking for somebody who's, got expertise. I suppose you can call it expertise, but got knowledge, has sound knowledge, and experience in this area. So I think I actually went to a networking meeting a few weeks ago, and somebody was doing a talk, and they said, and the title of the talk was, I've heard of you somewhere before, or I've seen you somewhere before. And I think that's what you want. You want people to not necessarily remember your name particularly, but just the fact that they know that they've seen you somewhere before, that you've made an impact on them. Because we don't always remember people's names, but we do remember their faces. We maybe remember something about what they were about, what their area of work was, what their expertise was. And I think when we are starting to get that feedback from people, that's when we know that our personal brand is making an impact, as well as you say, Emma, the messages that dropping into your inbox. It's definitely not about those old vanity metrics that we love to hate in social media.
I actually have to agree with you, because not everybody has the time to like every post they see. People get distracted, and then they decide, you know what, I'm going to message them, or going to email them, or going to phone them. They don't always do the like. So I actually say to clients, and you said the same, Philip, is like, likes aren't all customers.
No.
You're not, every like is going to be somebody that's going to, you end up, as you say, being consistent in what you're putting out and resonating is more important.
I would say measure it by the number of conversations you're having.
Yeah.
The more people who are dropping you messages into your inbox, or sending you emails, or tagging you for the right reasons in social posts, because they know that you've got that expertise, or you've got something that's worthwhile to say about that topic. That to me, that's the measure of how successful your personal brand is.
It's funny. Somebody contacted me about, I had been contacted in about 15 years. And the other week they messaged me and asked me would I do a certain platform, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yes. And they said, oh, that'd be great, blah, blah, blah. And they've been looking at what I've been like. They may have liked, may not have liked, because maybe they're kind of going, do I like it? Do I not like it? You know what I mean? It's sometimes you're fearful. People can be fearful of liking a post, that way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I get that I know that. Sorry, Philip, to interrupt. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You're only the guest.
He's used to it.
No, I was quickly just going to say that I understand in the industries that I work in that, people who are working in the legal profession or financial or whatever aren't necessarily going to come and comment on my posts.
Yes.
But they will let themselves be known to me in other ways.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, you're right. Like, we were only talking about that. On LinkedIn and other channels, the whole kind of lurkers.
Yes.
People kind of lurk and watch, and exactly as you say, like I would see that myself on LinkedIn. I've talked to people, I love your content on LinkedIn.
And you go, why haven't you given me a like?
Why haven't you given me a like? Oh, no, I don't like or comment, but I definitely watch, and
there you go. Yeah.
Like, I think you said something interesting as well there, Ella. Like, I think, I don't know if you'd agree with this, I think we're in a social media bubble at this moment, where I think we're still, like, TikTok has proven this, or shows this, is that there's so many videos on TikTok where people are going, stuck at 200 views, da 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 da. And I saw then this other expert come on who was basically saying, why are we doing all these videos about you're stuck at 200 views? If you actually put 200 people in a room and spoke to them, you would say, wow, that's amazing. Well, just think, with your 15-second video, you've had 200 views, where maybe those 200 people have actually gone away and learned something, or they found your content quite engaging. So I think you're right. Get away from the big, huge numbers and drill down into the actual proper kind of metrics of engagement, connection, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And then do something with that after, because I think that's the thing, is that we don't, we thought, go, oh, look at that, I've had all these comments, or I've had these number of, whatever's, but as you say, Philip, if we're drilling down into who are those people, how often are they engaging with us, maybe that's then the time for us to take action and reach out to them and go, I've noticed that you've been liking my content or commenting or whatever it is. Here's something that else that I can show you that might help you to be of interest to you. So extend the generosity into their inbox.
Yeah.
So would you say that would be a good sort of start when it comes to a content strategy for using social media in a sense of giving somebody value going forward?
Yeah, because I think the thing is that, we create content, don't we, to be seen on social. It's that great sort of like brand awareness breakthrough stage in the funnel. But I think if we hold on to some of our real gems in terms of 10 great tips for this, or 5 ways to do this, or whatever it is, and you could that could almost be like your kind of precious content that you share with people who genuinely want to get to know more about you and your personal brand.
So that's where you would say things like blogs could be really helpful. Or
because and I think if you've got into a conversation with people and you're really starting to get underneath the skin of what it is that they're asking for. I mean, we can all sort of say, oh well, or I can help you with LinkedIn. Or someone saying, oh, I need help with LinkedIn. But actually, what is it in particular that they need help with on LinkedIn? Or what is it in particular they need help with in social media? I mean, I'm sure both of you have had this hundreds of times, businesses saying to you, I need help with my social media. And it's like, well,
that's a big book.
That's a massive book.
Yeah. It's like, okay, what exactly? And they don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's probably the same, as I say, going back to the personal brand, because people think, oh, my personal brand is my logo.
Oh yeah. We know it's far more. Yeah. It's far more. In fact, that's a tiny, tiny, tiny part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a down to sort of thing, as you say, when it comes to getting to sort of get them warmed up and for people to realize that you do know what you're talking about, Ella, is having something that you can sort of solve that problem.
Yes.
If you can find that one problem that they're all kind of dealing with, and then giving them a little bit of a taste of what it is. You can't solve it overnight.
Yeah, no. And that's why it's really important to be clear about, as we know, who your ideal client is, who you're trying to reach out to, what are the 10 I've actually got a video about this yet, which I haven't put out into the world, but the 10 things that people ask most about personal branding, because and that will be the you can have that in any sort of sector, any topic really, the 10 most frequently asked questions, because people tend to ask the same sorts of questions. So
okay, just to tease them a little bit. What would be number one?
Well, for a lot of people, it is, what is personal branding? That's a question that you asked me. Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. You have to go back to, I was going to say show one. Yeah.
Show one. And another question is, do I have to talk about my family when I talk about personal branding? Do I have to talk about a life-changing event that happened to me? No. You don't have to do any of that.
They don't know they don't have to know what you have for breakfast, Philip, then.
No.
Yeah, well, I won't tell them anymore then, Emer. So I think we just need to part that type of content. Sorry, everybody, I've been watching my porridge muesli social media videos. I won't do them anymore.
Yeah, not necessary.
Not necessary. Yeah. But like, I think it's interesting because that question there, where what is a personal brand? Like, if let's link this to, say, leveraging social media to, I suppose, expand reach. But particularly, let's kind of talk about, you're excellent on LinkedIn, Ella. And I think the three of us, we've all experienced where someone has made the effort to do a personal connection request, which I love. I love when people will say, Philip, I'd love to connect with you because of X, Y, Z. And you go, that's great. They've made an effort. I've quite a positive kind of view of what maybe their brand is. And then boom, once you connect, buy my course, sell, boom.
Oh yeah.
And that's destroying the personal brand almost. And so it's almost like people need to stop and think that, if you want to build your personal brand and be seen as someone who wants to add value, like you're saying there, potentially it might be, if you connect to me, I want to further build the relationship and maybe give them my 10 tips to personal branding ebook, not a sell, just more value.
Exactly.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we all hate those connect and pitch. I can't think of anybody. I don't know why people do it, but they do.
I hate the ones that they send you. Would you like help with your social media?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
And I'm going, I think I do actually. I do, it's just like, it's like, what's in it for them? Really?
Yeah.
And then, especially if somebody's like, maybe they want to connect with you, Ella, they're not too sure what to say, when it comes to, I know I need to do something with my personal brand, and they just go, they press the connect button. They don't send you the message to say, look, I'd like some help. It's always worthwhile. Look, say hello and say that you liked what they've been engaging and following what you're saying and doing. And maybe they're a bit fearful, to sort of take that next step. Is there a way that they can sort of bridge that, to sort of make them sound more authentic, to get across to you?
I just think people have just got to be themselves. I think people have got to sort of feel comfortable with being themselves. And I think if we can, this is why I think personal branding, again, is so powerful, because it's not some kind of, oh, look at me, I'm up on some, putting myself up on some pedestal and, and I'm untouchable. It's actually me saying, look, this is me. This is my personality. I'm a human being. I've got vulnerabilities. I've got weaknesses, but I've also got these things that I'm really good at. And
I'd like you to help me, Ella.
And I can share with you through my content and my comments and my engagement and my connection building and everything else and my networking and whatever else. Because that's what I think LinkedIn is brilliant at. It's a brilliant network. It's a brilliant place to network. So if you're doing all of that, but you're also showing up as yourself, as a human being, and and you're sort of saying, no, I made a mistake the other day, or I thought I'd messed this up, or I thought this was going to go really well, and actually it didn't. That's what's showing the human side of us. Then I think people, if we can do that more, then people will hopefully see that in our content. And then when they connect with us, they'll be able, we need to be encouraging people to sort of be themselves more in sending those connection requests. In fact, I feel that this is like a post that I need to write next. What to say when you connect with somebody so that you don't feel like you're being a complete schmuck.
Yeah.
No,
and then
it's
I was going to say, and then send it to us. Then send it to us.
Absolutely. Like I think, like Ella, would it be fair to say when you're, because we always kind of tend to advise this when you are doing sort of a brand dive with the business, and that you should try and get to that sort of that kind of one-line mission statement. But it just popped a thought into my head that when you go through that sort of that branding exercise of brain dumping you as a person, that you should try and then get to a point of, what is your mission statement as an individual? Because if you can get to that point whereby, okay, I want to create content for these people because I want to be able to X, Y, Z, and I want to, gives you real clarity as to then how you communicate. I feel, like, to be fair to you, Emer, I think you do this really well with a very very niche and difficult niche, which is the funeral industry. But I think everybody that's worked with you, and if they go onto your content on your website, they instantly get a feeling that Emer is all about educating, empathy, taking people at a pace that they're comfortable with to get results. And that's why people want to work with you.
I actually put, and you probably do the same, Ella, probably because we have, like educational backgrounds, both of us is, and Philip does as well, because he is actually a very patient person.
I got my leaving cert.
But so what I was going to say, it's like, I put myself in the person's shoes because, nobody knows everything, right? I mean, I don't. I mean, no. Philip certainly doesn't. But the point gonna kill me now. But
you told me before we came on air that I did. Obviously, you lied.
We grinded. It's like World Dracula Day today. But the thing it is, like, people would come to you, Ella, and they'd be looking for those, how am I going to get the message across correctly? And then they come to me. So it's like, okay, I understand that I have to be online. I don't want to be online, but how do I make it where it's comfortable for me and my personal brand shines through, It's like, my brand evolved. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, if you change direction, I change direction, things come down the road, especially during COVID. Like, we were doing the show and we were trying to angle it where people can be staying visible, like the hospitality sector, the retail sector, not just having wonderful people like yourself on telling people all about, how to improve their online presence and everything else. But it was just, these things evolved and things changed for me. And now I wonderful people I'm working with. They're lovely. I may have to speak to you, Ella, because sometimes it's the industry is evolving, it's changing, and everybody's message is coming across for the same reason, but everybody's different. Everyone has a different brand in a sense. So
and the thing is, I can understand with your industry that you're in, Ema, that funeral directors, it's such an individual choice at the end of the day, isn't it? It's an individual, it's a huge choice. It's a massive choice. We're all gonna need one day. So,
thanks for that bit of positivity, Ella.
Families, but no, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's a really challenging industry. Probably like some people would say that I work in a very challenging industry.
Finance and legal. I mean, that's serious,
But the point is that we both work in industries which are real, it's about life experiences and the big things of life. So like I say to my clients is that, if you want to stand out in the market, you want to stand out from all the other legal professionals, solicitors, lawyers, financial advisors, financial out there, you have to put something different out there. You've got, and the only thing that's going to make you different is your personality, what makes you unique and individual. That and as well as all that, and as well as that skill set and that experience and that knowledge and that trust and those values, but it's also about you, because that's the one thing that's going to make you stand out and make you have a standout personal brand. And that's the one thing that's going to make your funeral directors stand out as well, Ema.
I mean, there are, as I say, I've met the ones I've met so far, whether it's online or face to face, they're all lovely people, and I have to say, it's just they're cautious and and the one platform I will say they actually like is LinkedIn.
I can understand why they're cautious though, because they work in an extremely sensitive industry. That's why. And it's that thing of, if I start talking about me and my personality, is that being insensitive to my customers and clients? But it can be done. It can be done.
That's why I feel like saying, there's a place for everybody. And because at the end of the day, your customer is on social media, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram, even Twitter, Philip. It's
everywhere,
so again, it's depending, like, I can see why the the legal sector can be quite wary. But there was do you remember Richard Rogan, Philip? He used to give out some fantastic advice on social media. God love him, he's passed away. And we had hoped to get him on the show, but unfortunately time got beyond us. And he was going to talk about the importance of social media and giving the right advice out there and making people feel comfortable. And he has an exceptional following, didn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd be interested to get your thoughts. This question just popped into my head, Ella. Because,
not again. You're putting her off guard now.
No, I think you'll be well able. Would it be fair to say, Ella, based on your experience, that sometimes, and I'd be interested to get your view on this as well, that I think sometimes businesses, when they develop or they understand their personal brand, they sometimes fall into the trap. I know I've fallen into the trap, and I've worked in business where we've fallen into the trap where you've gone after clients or you've taken on business that are not aligned to your personal brand. And then suddenly, you're sort of batting heads or something is just off. And would it be fair to say that the ideal is you'll always gravitate or to try and focus on getting clients who have a similar brand outlook to yourself, so that there's a sort of a meeting of the minds?
I definitely agree with that. Totally, Philip. I just think the way that satisfaction from working in any kind of work we do is working with people who share the same values that we do, have got the same motivations, the same outlook, isn't it? None of us want to work with people who we're constantly clashing with or constantly feeling that we're having to justify ourselves to, or whatever it is. So I would say, the more authentic and genuine you can be in your personal brand, and I know that word gets banded around a lot, authenticity, but the more authentic you can be and the more honest you can be, and also that self-acceptance of I'm not going to be for everybody. I'm not going to be for everybody.
I mean, it's like bars.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Like
it's
the
like
two listeners that listen to our show,
my mother.
It's
my mother.
Oh, well, you can add my husband to that. It'll be 3 now.
We got 3.
Oh, good. Win-win, Philip, today.
Absolutely.
I totally agree, because, like, as I say, I've worked with different industries, even like, way back, even before I was doing what I was doing. I worked with the finance industry. I worked with the entertainment industry. But the one I worked with was an organization which give people back their, it was intellectual disabilities, and I was helping marketing their what they could be and wanted to be. And the joy I got at the end of every day was coming away going, I made a difference. They are happy. They want to go into work and feel good about themselves and contribute. And I feel in some ways, if you can contribute back to giving somebody back the confidence with their personal brand, or, telling social media jokes, whatever it is, it's, your job is done. Yeah. Isn't that right?
No, absolutely.
I
think we do have time for one last question, Emer, if you want to do the honors.
Well, do you know what? I just think, is there anyone out there that we could all aspire to, would you say, Ella, in regards to personal brands? Is there the ones that are, the great ones? And then maybe we should look at the other side of the coin of the great ones, because, nobody gets it right all the time, What would you say? Food for thought. What would you say?
Oh, that is actually, we're finishing on quite a hard question there, because I did sort of ponder on this a little bit and thought to myself, the people who I hold up, who I sort of go, oh yeah, that's a great personal brand, are people who are the people whose content I always go to on LinkedIn. So those.
Don't say Philip Twyford. Don't say Philip Twyford.
But I mean, you've got people who are really well known in the kind of marketing industry. So the people who I say won't necessarily be familiar names to your listeners. But I mean, there are people like, for example, Anne Handley, who I know is very well thought of, and has got a fantastic personal brand. And as you've mentioned already, Madeline Starr,
she's great,
who is fantastic. There's Mark Schaefer as well, who's written a number of books about personal branding. And I'm even going to mention my very good friend John Aspirian, because John has been, he has helped me to get to where I am now. But one of the things I would say to your listeners and to anybody who's thinking about wanting to work on their personal brand is have a good network around you, have a good community around you. And I've been honored, privileged to be, have John, I've known him for like 4 or 5 years, and because I'm part of his community, and people in his community who are also really great on LinkedIn have got to know me, and so they help to lift you up. And they'll tell you if you're going down the right road with your personal brand, or if they'll tell you if you're going completely in the wrong direction. So I think that's what I would say. Look at your industry. Look who has got good visibility, whose content you see regularly, and it doesn't need to be on LinkedIn. It could be that they're more visible on they're more consistent on Twitter, or it could be that they're on Instagram or wherever, or it could be that they've got a YouTube channel. Philip and
wink, Ella, wink.
But look for those people and follow them. Because I think, yes, we can look at personalities and big names like, the likes of, as you say, Gary Vaynerchuk, and I mean Stephen Bartlett is somebody who a lot of people know, and obviously he's gone on there to be sort of a really sort of big celebrity. But I think look at people who are particularly in your industry who are doing a great job of showing up, being consistent, being visible, but also walking the walk and talking the talk. So it's not just they're doing it on social, but then you meet them in real life and they turn out to be a complete, And
we have met a few like that. Well, I always say just be yourself and do your best, and you have a clear conscience and you've helped somebody, and life is good. What do you think, Philip?
No, I totally agree. I think if you focus on being the type of person that you want to be, you will attract similar people in your network, because I think you gravitate, and people gravitate who have a sort of a mirror, and there's a sort of a symbiotic sort of relationship there. And I think myself and Emer, we've been very lucky with our respective communities, and we obviously connected ourselves a number of years ago, and through the radio show we've connected with wonderful people like yourself and John Aspirian and Sarah Clay, who's another brilliant LinkedIn expert, and Karen McCarthy and Maeve Atchison, and all these people who've come on to share their knowledge. So it's great. So well, this has been fantastic. Thank you for another show that literally seemed to fly along.
I know. We'll have to get her back, Philip.
There's a lot more. I think we might have to do a deep dive on your 10 tips book.
You see, you're holding me to account now, and I like that. Exactly. No, that's good. I need a bit of accountability, believe me.
Yes, I know the feeling.
For anyone that may not have caught show one, where your website, your LinkedIn handle, where can people go to learn more about you?
So I'm Ella Orr, so you can find me on LinkedIn as that, but my business is at Much More Social, so that's my social media handle on a number of the other platforms. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, you'll find me on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I've got my website. Just come and say hello. But please do come and say that you heard me on Let's Get Social, because that's a brilliant way to introduce yourself to me. And I'll be very, very happy to chat to you.
Right,
or we could extend the show and call it the Let's Get Much More Social show.
Let's get much more social indeed.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
So I'm fired, Emer, is it? It's Emer and Ella now. Yeah, right.
So then we wouldn't have the digital giggle. What's your,
No.
You know,
We need the jokes. We need the jokes.
Okay, all right. Well, I just wrap up for the first 5 minutes and then I'll head off.
We'll stay for the night. We'll stay for the night. So,
Yeah.
but listen, if anybody out there would like to, as I say, do go check out Ella. She is an absolute whiz. She will answer every question. And if she doesn't know it, she'll go check out with Philip then. Is that right?
That's no problem. And if you enjoyed today's show, you'll be able to catch it again shortly on the Let's Get Social Show podcast on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, and of course on the Dublin South FM website.
Yeah, and if, as I say, if video is your thing, do go check us out on YouTube and subscribe, ring the bell, and leave us a comment. And we could hopefully turn it into a show. We will. And again, with the email, you can email us for requests on inquiries at dublinsouthfm.ie. My head is a blitz. I'm here with my blank piece of paper. I'm going to have to get everything down on it.
Yeah, still hasn't put anything
from
on
our
the
first
paper,
show, So So Ella, big hugs. Thanks for coming on the show. And,
it's been great.
brilliant.
Thank you.
And any last requests, Philip?
No. I'm just going to go off now and get a big A2 sheet of paper and write down everything that's wonderful about me.
Thank you very much for asking me.
Thanks so much, Ella.
Great, Ella.
Anyway.
Every continued success, and we'll talk
Thank
again
you.
soon.
Catch up later.
Bye.
Thanks a million,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.